found this hardcover on eBay, again, for like $20. And I was like, guys, what's going on? And I was like, I'm having heart palpitations. I love a good floppy paperback, and these are like the floppiest of floppy paperbacks. Nothing brings me more serotonin than buying books that I don't need. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing one of my absolute favorite types of videos to film, and that is a haul video, my friends. Yes, I do love talking about all of the bad financial decisions that I've made over the last 3 months. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it. There's not too much to say. These are all of the books that I've acquired since the last time I did a book haul, which was like October. So like it could be better, but also it could be worse. So we're gonna get into it. So I kind of have these books split into two different categories. First of all, I have all of like the new books that I've acquired. Like some of them like maybe secondhand. That's not exactly what I'm talking about when I say new, but like I haven't read them before, or some of these I have read, but like when I picked them up, I hadn't read them before. And then I also have a stack of books that are duplicates to books that I kind of maybe already have, but I am personally a big purveyor of owning multiple copies of books that I really like, that I really enjoy, or if they're just really stunning copies, I would like to own them. You know what I'm saying? So I have like 9 books that I already own these books, and I've already read these books, but I really like them, so I found different editions of them that I love. So I think I'm gonna go through my duplicates after I go through all of the new books. So we are going to be tackling this pile first. First of all, I have King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. This is like a vampire fantasy romance type of situation. And at the time that I bought this book, I had already read it. However, I read it from the library, so I did not have a physical copy. And I kind of just really liked the cover. And I was walking through Barnes & Noble, and they had like signed editions of it. So I was like, yeah, why not? You know, because eventually I want to have like a vampire shelf on my bookshelves. I don't have quite enough vampire books to do that yet, but I saw this one and I thought it would be a perfect addition to that shelf. Like, is that a stupid reason to buy a book? Maybe. I am happy to have it. Like, I do not regret this purchase at all. Next up I have The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. Recently I finally continued the Stormlight Archive, and I enjoyed it so much that I decided I wanted to read basically every book in the Cosmere. Not this year, because that sounds like a daunting task, but I am going to make it my mission to eventually read every book that's in the Cosmere, and obviously I had to pick up Mistborn. Also, this is one of the lovely UK editions of Brandon Sanderson's books. All of the paperbacks, for the most part, kind of have this general look to them. They're like mainly white, and then they have like a pop of color that they focus on. So like for Mistborn, it's all light blue, but I think for some of his other books, it's like, I don't know, red, purple, green, like they all are white with pops of color. And I love them so much, so I ordered this one off of Book Depository, and then when I finish this one, I will buy the second one. And yeah, I'm just so excited to finally read Mistborn. I've heard so many good things about it. Next up, I have a book that I was really aiming to read in December. Yeah, that didn't happen, but I will just like have this on my shelf to pick up next December, and that is Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzner. This is a retelling of The Nutcracker, and I've heard really good things about the writing. I don't know if I've heard good things about the story itself. However, I did want to pick it up and give it a try anyway. Also, the cover is stunning, so I was like, yeah, I need a physical copy of that, you know what I'm saying? So, hopefully next Christmas season, I will be picking this up. Next up, I have Demon in the Wood by Leigh Bardugo and Danny Pendergast. This book was kindly sent to me by Dina off of my Amazon wishlist, so thank you so much, Dina. This is a graphic novel format of the story Demon in the Wood by Leigh Bardugo. I do believe this story has been like out for a while, just in like a novelized format, but recently they came out with a graphic novel for it. And I'm very excited about this because I tried to read the original story as soon as I finished Shadow and Bone, and I was really bored. But I do really love a good graphic novel. I think this format and me will just gel a bit better, and I'm very excited about it. Next up I have Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. This is the third book in the... why am I blanking on the series name? Stormlight Archive. There we go. No thoughts were in my head for that 5 seconds there. But, yeah, epic fantasy series by Brandon Sanderson. I love it. I won't spend any more time talking about it. However, I will spend some time talking about just how much I love the US paperbacks for this series. I mean, look, it's so good. Like, I love when I finally get to the point in the book where I can set it down on the table and it just stays open. Like stunning, truly. I love a good floppy paperback, and these are like the floppiest of floppy paperbacks, let me tell you. Next up I have a very exciting book because I've already read this and I already loved it, and it was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and that is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This is just the normal edition of it that you can get, but I do know they have like a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition that's black, and while I do love that edition, all of my other books in this series are in the white edition, so obviously we're going for consistency here. So yeah. Also, under the dust jacket, it has this little like fox holding a heart. You know, even after I've read this book, I can't remember what the significance of that is, but it's pretty. I like the blue foiling. All of the other books in this series also have really pretty designs under the dust jacket, so this one did not disappoint. But this is the first book in a new duology by Holly Black that takes place in the world that the Folk of the Air trilogy takes place. This follows Jude's little brother Oak, but like the main character of it is a character that we were introduced to kind of towards the end of the Folk of the Air series, and I really liked her as well. And you're not here for a book review, but I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really fun. Next up I have a couple of books that I picked up in the Barnes & Noble half price sale that they were doing after Christmas. That was literally, it was such a stunning sale. Like, I can't believe it. Like, they had little signs around the store. They were like, yes, even that one. But like, that was still me. I was like, are you guys sure that this is 50% off? Because that is such a deal. So I didn't go too crazy, but I still did pick up 3 books I'm very excited about. First up, I have A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is a book that follows, I think, one of Dracula's brides, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've heard that the writing is stunning. I've heard that the message is really important as well, and I really like this edition of it, even though I love the self-published cover. I've learned to appreciate this one because it has like a little quote on the hardcover, and then it also has deckled edges, which I love deckled edges so much. Like, it's not my favorite like kind of book customization that you can do, because I do love some good stenciled edges, but the deckled edges, like, I love feeling them. It's just so nice. Another book that I picked up in the 50% off sale is A Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw. This book is also very pretty because under the dust jacket you kind of have this like constellation type thing, and there's also stars on the hardcover in the back as well, and it's so pretty. Like, all of Shay Earnshaw's books are just really pretty, and I love her for that, you know? Also, her writing is very nice. I do like her writing, but the physical copies are always gorgeous. Not the point though. This book follows Vega, who is considered the last astronomer. So she is essentially the only person on Earth who has like all of the knowledge about the stars in the sky. And I don't really know what the plot is aside from that, but I love anything to do with astronomy, and I thought this sounded really fun. So hopefully I can also pick this one up soon. And then the last book that I got in the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale was House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I own the first book in this series in a hardback as well, so I've been waiting for like a deal on the hardback of House of Sky and Breath, because even though I don't love Crescent City, I am going to be continuing it. And I wanted to continue it with like a nice edition of it, you know? So normally this hardcover is like $28, and I cannot bring myself to pay $28 for a book. So when I went to Barnes & Noble for the 50% off sale, originally I didn't see it and I was really sad because this is like the one book that I came there looking for. And then I asked one of the lovely Barnes & Noble employees and they had one in the back. I was like, yeah, you're coming home with me. So very excited that I got this book for $14, and it's new and like stunning. What a deal. Next up I have another book that I've already read, and that is Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. This is book 2 in the Legendborn cycle. Obviously, I read Legendborn like last year. It was really fun. So I was very excited when I heard that the second book is coming out. This kind of general series follows our main character Bree, who is going to this early college program at UNC Chapel Hill, I think. And when she gets there, she kind of discovers this secret order that's based off of the Knights of the Round Table, and it's just really fun. So this book was great. Both books are fantastic. Next up, I have a book that I have already read. However, I decided that I want physical copies of the entirety of this series because originally I read them from the library. So on Pango Books one day for like $4, I found Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco. Admittedly, I don't like this book that much. However, I like the entire series enough that I decided I needed physical copies of all of them. You know what I'm saying? So, found this one. It was very cheap. I'm glad to have it to add to my collection. If you guys don't know like the general plot of this series, you're following our main character Audrey Rose, who is a young woman in London during the Victorian period, and she wants to become God, I still don't know what they're called. She does autopsies, and that's like what she wants to do with her life, but obviously that's not really an acceptable kind of profession for a woman back in the day, but she's just gonna do it anyway. And then she kind of gets swept up in solving the stalking Jack the Ripper murder that was kind of going on in London. That's like generally the plot of the first one. The rest of them just like go off into, I don't even know. But the series is fun, and if you like a Victorian London setting, if you like really good romance, I would recommend the series. Next up, I have just like two absolutely stunning books, and I can't get over it. The first one is Heart of the Sun Warrior by Su Lin Tan. This is the second book in the Celestial Kingdom duology, so the first one, do I have it faced out? Yeah. Is Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which I read in December for me and Cass's book club. It was a really fun time, so I decided I had to pick up this book. Honestly, there was no way I wasn't going to pick it up because it is so gorgeous. Like, the colors are just absolutely stunning. To give you guys kind of an overview of what the first book in this series is like, if you're interested, you're following our main character Xinyan, who is the daughter of the moon goddess, and both her and her mother live on the moon because her mother has actually been confined to the moon based off of a past crime that she kind of committed. But one day, people from the Celestial Kingdom, which is why it's called the Celestial Kingdom duology, come to the moon, and Xinyan's kind of overhearing the conversation, and apparently the moon goddess is not supposed to have a daughter, so she has to leave the moon, leave her mother so they don't figure out that her mother has, you know, had a child all of these years. And the entire kind of thing that she's trying to accomplish in the first book is freeing her mother from the moon. It's really fun. I liked the writing a lot, so I had to pick up the second one. And this next book may be the prettiest book that I have ever set my eyes on. And that is Six Crimson Crames by Elizabeth Lim. I mean, like, wow. This is the UK hardcover edition of it. I do, like, kind of like the US hardcover, but it's kind of hard to compete with this one. So I ordered this one off of Book Depository, and it is even more stunning in person. There's even, like, bits of gold foil around it. The spine is beautiful. I mean, just, like, wow. Wow. Honestly, I don't know what this book is about, to be honest. But I've been wanting to get into more, like, Asian-inspired fantasy books, and I figured this would be a good one to start with. Also, the back of it, like, there's a little blurb on it. Let me just read this to you. It says, Princess in Exile, a shape-shifting dragon, 6 enchanted cranes, and an unspeakable curse. It will take more than magic to find their way home. Hello? That sounds so good. I'm not gonna, like, read the actual synopsis of this book before I read it, just because I want to go in surprised, you know? Like, I don't want to know anything. This was all I needed to know, so I'm, like, incredibly excited to read this one. This is definitely one of the books that I want to read this year, and, like, yeah. Hopefully I really like this one because I really want to buy the second one as well. And then lastly, I do have 2 other books sent to me off of my Amazon wish list. So first of all, we have Anatomy of Love Story, and this was sent to me by the lovely Sophie, so thank you so much, Sophie. I've heard this compared a lot to Stalking Jack the Ripper. I don't think it's, like, quite the same, but if it's got the same vibes, then I'm there for it. I do, however, think this takes place in, like, the Regency period as opposed to, like, Victorian times, so I'm excited to try this in, like, a different setting, if you will. This follows our main character who really wants to be a surgeon, but again, it's kind of not seen as a normal profession for women in that day, but she wants to do it anyway. She will not let anybody deter her. However, she wants to attend this class, but because she is a woman, the professor will not allow her to unless she can pass the medical exam sort of thing on her own. And obviously there's, like, a little bit of romance, there's a lot of women doing whatever the hell they want, and I love that. So, very excited to get to this one. Also, it's got this very pretty, like, red foil heart on the hardcover, and I was like, wow. Gorgeous. So thank you again, Sophie, for this book. And then I also have Good Girl Bad Blood, which is the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. This book was kindly sent to me by Lillian, so thank you so much, Lillian. Also, I do want to put out there, like, never feel like you guys have to send me books off my Amazon wish list. Like, it's definitely, like, your support, just, like, watching my videos is absolutely enough, but I do really appreciate it when you guys do. So thank you again so much to anybody who has ever sent me a book off of my wish list. So I do own the first and third books in this series already, but I had been needing the second one, so I'm so happy to finally have this. I'm not gonna go into what A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is about because it is extremely popular, and I'm sure we all kind of have a general idea. I mean, it's like a YA mystery type of situation, and I'm very excited to finally have all 3 books so I can binge the series. And then I do have one last like new book that I'm going to talk about, even though it's not really a traditional book in the sense that I've been talking about. But I got this book for Christmas and it's very cool. It is The Art of Howl's Moving Castle. It's like a kind of a coffee table book type of situation, but look at all the pretty pictures. I've known about these for a long time and I've definitely been wanting a few of them, so when I opened this one up on Christmas, I was like, yes. I'd really also like to get the one for like Kiki's Delivery Service and My Neighbor Totoro and all of my faves, but Howl's Moving Castle is my ultimate fave, so I'm so happy to have this so I can just like look through it, put it on my coffee table when I eventually get one of those, and it'll just be, it's just such a nice piece. Now we are going to move on to my stack of books that I already have copies of, but I bought more anyway because I'm insane. First of all, I do have this arc of Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the 2nd book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. The person who I bought Escaping from Houdini from off of Pango just threw this in, and also it's signed by Carrie Maniscalco, and I was like, I'm having heart palpitations because this is one of like my absolute favorite books from last year, and the fact that I have an arc of it and the fact that it's signed by Carrie Maniscalco, I'm like, oh wow. I still like, I can't get over it. It's like my prized possession. I'm obsessed. So I saw that they were coming out with 5th anniversary editions of Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and obviously I love that book. So I had to pick up the 5th anniversary edition just for collection purposes really, but it's like this really pretty like silvery cover with like the blue moth on it. I just think it is so, it's just like a really nice addition to my Strange the Dreamer collection that I've started. So I'm very happy to have this. It was also like not super expensive, so I was like, yeah, let's add it to the collection. And then I also have my new prides and joys. Original UK hardbacks of Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares. Love these so much. Obviously they are unfortunately out of print now and they've been out of print for a while, but I found both of these on the used section of Amazon. I think this one was like 50 and this one was like 40, which is a deal. Honestly, like I know that seems like a lot for books, but they're like $150 on eBay. So I was like, that, my friends, is such a deal. Also, both of them have like the red and blue sprayed edges that the first editions of these come with. And this one is signed by Laini Taylor, and I still can't get over it. The only problem with this book is that the sprayed edges have kind of, they've kind of faded. Like, it gets a lot more vibrant as you like go this way. The only problem was this like faded part, like, is the top of the book. But I kind of flipped the book upside down in the dust jacket so that when you look at it on my shelf, all you can see is the pretty blue. So I love these. Literally like the best purchase I've ever made, and I'm obsessed with them. Next up, I have another 5th anniversary edition to talk about, and that is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. These are just anniversary editions that they're doing for the Dark Artifices. Honestly, I don't love the Dark Artifices that much, but I still really like that series, but it's not my favorite Cassandra Clare series. However, I do really like these hardcovers. I think they're very pretty. It's also got this like rose gold spine. Maybe it's brassy. It's more brass. It's very pretty. It's very shiny. I also have, I don't know, here it is. I also have the one for Lady Midnight. It's very pretty. It's got like a gold spine and it looks so pretty together. Like, stunning, honestly. And I will be buying the one for Queen of Air and Darkness whenever that comes out. Next up, I have yet another Cassandra Clare book to show you guys, and that is the Waterstones exclusive edition of Chain of Iron. I found this on eBay, or was it Amazon? I found this somewhere for like 20 bucks, and I still don't know why, but I'm still choosing not to ask questions because it's stunning, it's so pretty. I needed it. I've been wanting to get kind of just any special edition of any of the Last Hours books, so very excited about this one. I also have pre-ordered the Waterstones exclusive edition for Chain of Thorns, so it will have a friend very soon. Next up, I have another book that I'm really excited about, and I don't really know what edition of this book that this is, but I don't think they sell them anymore, and I don't know why. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that originally I had paperbacks for this series. I don't love the paperbacks, and I bought the paperbacks after I read the books from the library because it's like, oh, I love this series, I want physical copies, you know? But Like the paperbacks, they just don't do it for me, but I found this hardcover on eBay, again, for like $20, and I was like, guys, what's going on? But it's this really pretty edition of Caraval by Stephanie Garber. It's got like the split spine kind of thing, and here's what the back looks like. Also, there's a little thingy, circus tent. It's a tent on the hardcover, and it's very pretty. And I'm just very excited to have like a nice edition of Caraval. I do like the normal hardcovers that you can get of the series, but I like this one more. And now I'm going to make it my mission in life to find the corresponding covers for Legendary and finales. So very excited to have this one. I just love it so much. And then lastly, I have two also just very exciting books. I feel like everything has just been like so exciting in this video, but I found so many good editions of these books recently. And I have finally acquired some hardbacks of, what's it? A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So obviously these are the original covers for the series. I don't like the new covers. Really, for this series, I just feel like these are so much better. And why did they change them? And why are these so damn expensive on eBay now? Well, I mean, I know why, I just wish they weren't. But I have been waiting and looking for deals because I was not going to spend so much money on either of these. But I ended up finding this copy of A Court of Thorns and Roses at half price for $10. And I literally, like, I haven't taken the sticker off of it. I will never take the sticker off of it because this is the best deal I think I've ever found. And then I've really been wanting a copy of A Court of Mist and Fury with the original hardcover, but these are even more expensive than like the first one or the third one because everybody loves this book. You know, like it is impossible to find a reasonably priced copy of this book with this cover. However, one of my favorite things recently has been to look on the used section of Amazon. That's where I found these copies of Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, and that is where I found this book for $30. Or $35. Wow. If you guys also want to kind of look at the used section of Amazon, I feel like maybe there's a better way you could do it, but I always find like the ISBN for like the books that I'm looking for, and then I use like a little ISBN search thing, and then if you like scroll down, it'll show you like places where you can buy used copies of those books. And that's how I find these things. I'm definitely going to be buying a copy of the third one soon just so I can complete my collection. And yeah. That's it. So yeah, you know, all of these books in 3 months, it could be worse. I've also done a couple of unhauls in the time that I've acquired a lot of these books, so I'm keeping books moving in and out, all that fun stuff. But I'm so excited about all of these books. Nothing brings me more serotonin than buying books that I don't need. If you guys did enjoy, please do let me know down below any books that you guys have acquired recently, be that you bought them, you were gifted them, you borrowed them from the library, you stole them. I'm not here to judge. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.